Hello, love, and welcome to another ASMR Quantum Human Design session. In today's session, we're going to be looking at a 6-2, adept, responder, emotional or creative authority, alchemist, or generator in traditional human design. Regardless of what type or what chart is featured, you can still receive something out of these sessions because we all have all of the chart, just like we all have all of the human genome. We just express it differently based on our unique configurations, our conditioning, and our lived experiences. Our candle today is lavender and sage. You don't even need to know what human design is to receive something from these sessions. You don't even need to know anything about human design to receive something out of these sessions, because all the chart shows is all the archetypes and all the energetic themes that we experience as human beings. So there is nothing that you won't relate to or understand at some level. So take what resonates and leave the rest. Our incense today is lavender and sea salt. So good. So we're just going to start to cleanse and clear our space and any energies you may be carrying that aren't yours, that we need to clear out and let go of. We're also going to, at the end of our session, be pulling a card from our Healing Waters Oracle deck. So I'll just cleanse these. And our Divine Illumination Angel Oracle as well, or Angel Number deck. So if you see me looking down to the side here, it's because I have our chart printed out that I'll be intuiting and sharing from for today's session. So before I read the question that was asked in regard to this chart, I want to just say that one of the things that I love that feels so magical and invigorating each time I run a chart. Every time I run a chart, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I love this chart. And I feel that way about each one. Each one is so unique, even though we all have all of this. And there's a lot of like overlap in themes and a lot of explanations that can be this or that in the chart. There's only so much that we can express as human beings. There's only so many archetypes, right? It's still a lot of layers. But what I love about this is that I am not seeing race or skin color or your lived experiences or the stories and the conditioning. It's like, this is what I'm seeing, and what I'm speaking to is I've unzipped you and this is what's in the inside. So I want to share that because sometimes it can feel like you're maybe not resonating with the things that are being shared or shown in your chart. And that is because of the conditioning, because of the narrative and the stories and the lived experiences that you've had as your human avatar. And so what this reveals your energetic nature, because it's revealing not only how you use and process energy, how you express and emanate and take in energy, but what this is showing you is the optimal expression that your character is here to play out. So your soul is here to experience and learn. It has its whole curriculum, and the character that your soul is getting to live through also has its own curriculum, and that both of those parts make up the whole. This is why there are repeating patterns and themes and things that you go through. It's not like it takes away your free will or your choice, because we always have a choice. But what I'm speaking to and what I'm seeing is all of the masks, the mud, everything just shed away, stripped away. And I'm seeing the core, the essence, and the optimal expression that you can live out, that you can experience as the soul that you are here incarnated in this body and form, playing this character. So I share that to say, what starts to happen is when you hear things, at first it may not line up and it may be hard to receive. So I just ask that you allow your heart to be open. And even if there is a dissonance between what you're hearing and your belief system, your thoughts, that hearing the truth and hearing the potential and the possibility and hearing that optimal expression of what can be experienced and lived out, your gifts, your abilities, eventually start to sink in as you start to decondition, as you start to remember yourself, as you start to heal, or rather whole yourself. This starts to awaken a remembrance of the truth of who you are, and it sheds the story of your lived experiences. So I just wanted to speak to that sometimes it may be hard to receive or believe, but it's a process, it's a journey, and being open and receptive to just listen and hear and potentially take that in. We need to hear things over and over and over again before it becomes familiar, before we can even feel safe enough to start to believe something different sometimes. to believe it, let alone have that lived experience. So I just encourage you to stay open and curious and receptive to the possibility of feeling something and believing something different than what you have, the potential and the possibility of living out from this point on a different life than you've lived up to this point. You are ever changing, constantly growing, evolving, and you are here to do all of that. You are here to learn, grow, and evolve. It doesn't stop. So with that, the question that was asked, or this statement and question asked, is I'm feeling very unfulfilled and have for a while. I'm rebuilding my life after a divorce with 3 young kids and being raised in a cult most of my life. I've always felt I was made for more. I've used the past 2 years unlearning all the conditioning from both, and now I'm learning who I am. I am not sure what my next step is, and I need direction. So I'm going to put this down here. If you see me looking there, that's what I'm looking at, and then hopefully you'll see the chart up here as well. So there is a lot that came through as I was sitting with this and just tapping into your energy. And first and foremost, I want to say that you, alchemists, are not the things that you have done, and you are not the things that have been done to you. That's not who you are. And I think it is absolutely amazing where you are on your journey right now. And there is so much here. There is so much for you. And there is so much wanting to come through. So I just want to first and foremost just spray a little bit of this protection spray from our potion lady, just to help you relax and just sink into the space and just know that you are safe. You are seen. And you are protected. So we're just going to spray a little bit of here. Okay. Okay. That's good. So 6-line profiles have a triphasic life cycle. The first half of your life is all this exploration and experimentation, trials and tribulations, if you will, experiencing and exploring things that look like they may not necessarily work out, but that's how you've learned. So you figure out what works by experiencing what doesn't, and that can look like a myriad of things. And where you're at now, you are in the second cycle out of the 3 cycles, which we call on the roof in human design. This is the time of your life where you, for this next decade, you go up on the roof, in metaphoric roof, and it's a time for reflection and introspection and healing, or holding, because there's nothing, when I say healing, I mean holding. Healing, we're not broken. No one is broken. So healing really just means processing and integrating the experiences that we've had, realizing that, again, that's not who we are. The things that have happened to us, the things that we've done, that's not who we are. And so when I say healing, I mean really holding, coming back to remembrance of who we are, and realizing that those things do not define us. And it's really just an awakening and a remembrance of the truth of who we are, which is the divine in form, which is light expressing itself through this body, through this vehicle. And that takes time to process and integrate. There is a natural process that takes place. There's not like a bypassing that happens when we, by saying like, that's not who you are and you're not those things. That doesn't mean that we just bypass it and move on and don't reflect or heal or think about it. But I wanted to just emphasize that when I say healing, it's really a holding. It's a remembering, coming back into wholeness, into the remembrance of actual truth of what we are, and clearing out all of that conditioning like you've been doing. And so this phase of life, this life cycle that you're in is all about coming back home to yourself, giving yourself the compassion and the grace and the time and the patience to process everything that you've been through, to reflect, to heal, to have that introspection, to not rush this process. This isn't about I know that there's this feeling that can be like, I have to do something now, the time is now, what do I do next, where do I go, what do I do, time is wasting away. But I want to assure you that this process and this time is super important to the rest, to the next decade when you come off the roof around age 50. This time is so pivotal, is so vital to the next decade of your life. So I just want to encourage you to allow this time to be what it is, to not rush your healing, not rush your holding, and to really just be intentional with restoring and renourishing yourself and giving yourself what you need. Having come out of something like you were enmeshed in takes time to really process and to clear and work through all of those layers. And there's a theme of a lot of forgiveness. There's forgiveness work here in your gate 13. It's forgiveness is a big factor here, and that's forgiveness for yourself, forgiveness of others. And you may take some time to get to that place. You may already be at that place, but that learning, like that forgiveness piece, and then being able to write a new narrative based on who you are discovering that you are versus what you have been told and what you've been shown. You have an incredible mind. You have these ideas, and you have this and a consistent access to this energy that encourages people to think bigger and bolder and to dream and envision bigger possibilities, and just insights that drop in, these downloads and ideas that all have to be shared in the right way at the right time with the right people, and otherwise it won't be received. So getting to know and learn yourself of like, what do you think, what do you believe, what's coming from you, and clearing out all the stuff that was kind of put in there your whole life, and just that you were told to believe that this is the way it is. So it's clearing all that out, like you said, and then getting familiar with your inner voice, with your higher self, with spirit, with whatever name you want to put on it, your guides, your angels, whatever you feel comfortable with. Getting to learn what, like discerning what that voice is, so that you become so familiar with that you're unshakable and so grounded and rooted in your own truth and your own knowingness that you're able to just have this open mind and to stay in the awe and wonder of this expansive possibilities and potentials without feeling like you need to have this hard set, concrete, fixed, black or white. That it's okay to live in the gray space and to see all sides of either a situation or people's beliefs or opinions. Like, you can see all sides of things and not have to side with one or the other or land in a fixed space and place. That you have the freedom to be able to flow and to follow what feels good, right, and correct for you, to turn into your sacral, your gut, your truth in the moment in response to things. You being in the right place, the right environment is critical. You have to feel good where you are, where you live, the home that you live in. That has to feel really good to you in order for you to feel like you're safe and you can start to continue on in your journey. And so where you live, like geographically, in that state, in the place and space, the people that you're surrounded yourself with, all of that is really important. You're open, or your undefined G center. Your big, beautiful heart, the heart space. So, do you love where you live? Do you feel supported by the people that you have in your life? Is there someplace else that you desire to live, maybe to explore? And maybe it's not another state, but maybe it's right where you are and you need to rearrange a room. It could be as simple as that. You're in a time and a season to rest, restore, rejuvenate, replenish, regenerate, to nourish, to resource yourself. I know that there's life, adulting, and kids and responsibilities, but I encourage you to do what you can to give to yourself and allow yourself to not feel guilty for taking what you need, because it's just a season. Everything that you've been through, everything that you've gone through is for a purpose. You are going to emerge into the next cycle of your life, a leader, and sharing your voice and the power of your story, having gone on through it to the other side. And it's going to be so impactful and powerful and transformative and inspiring for other people who have gone through similar situations or are going through it. And you're going to be that hope. that it's possible to come out on the other side stronger and more empowered. This does not define you. None of this gets to destroy you, but it's fuel to the fire and the passion that you have within you. Your creativity maybe hasn't even been able to be tapped into or let out in so long. You have the power and ability to, just by being you, just by others being in your present, to recalibrate them back to the frequency of faith. You help others to focus. You show them the bigger picture. You are a visionary leader. You are a role model. You know what needs to be corrected and realigned and improved to help people find their joy, come back to joy, maybe find it for the first time, to align with faith, to trust in spirit that we will have what we need, that abundance is our birthright. And there is plenty to go around. We don't have to be in fear or lack mentality. There's enough, more than enough, for everyone. Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself limitless grace and compassion. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing great. You've been through a lot. This process isn't something that can be rushed, and the universe isn't going to bring to you things that to respond to or things that you don't have the energy for. So if there's burnout happening here, if there's just this is truly a time where it's like we're not going to give you things to respond to, so things may not be showing up for you to respond to, or you might not have that clarity right now, because it's time, it's just not time, and it's actually time for you to continue to restore and replenish yourself, to bring yourself back into energetic alignment with your energy and your vitality, and to not put any more unnecessary pressure on yourself to think that you have to be at a certain point by a certain time, and just allow your process to be what it is. And I would focus on the things that you do have the ability to take action on or have control over, and that simply may be that you rearrange the space in your home, in a room in your home, to have it feel better for you. And that could shift some things energetically and just change a lot just by doing that. So you have this ability to see the big picture. You are a visionary through and through. And in that, you also know, as you can see the big picture, and you also know when it is time to hone in and hone on your focus. But all of this comes down to timing. This has to do with what's going on with you internally and energetically and how you're feeling. And there's a lot of components and a lot of things at play with processing all of the things that you've been through. So what I'm feeling, what I'm seeing is when the timing starts to come into place, things are going to start showing up for you to respond to. You're going to be able to tap in to your truth, your sacral, your inner knowing, to be able to feel what direction and step you want to take. maybe there's still a little bit of hesitation or cloudiness of you trusting yourself and your decision-making abilities due to just everything that you've been through. And so I just encourage you to allow yourself to go through this process and know that you have had the experiences that you've had for a bigger purpose than you can even imagine at this point in time. And that's okay. You don't need, that may even feel overwhelming to think of that at this stage, but I'm just seeing and feeling that given enough time, things are going to make a lot more sense in hindsight. So anytime you feel that pressure rise up of you need to be doing something, or you need to be working towards your next steps, and you need the clarity, you need this and you need that, I encourage you to sink into trusting that the universe has your back, trusting and surrendering to divine timing, that all is coming, and there is a rhyme and a reason for what's happening in the way that it's happening and the time that it's taking. If you can just trust that and just have that blind faith of, I may not understand, but eventually the dots will connect, things will start to make sense, clarity will come, and it actually will feel like the more that you surrender into this season and into this cycle, then it actually feels like that is the thing. When we don't resist where we are and what we're going through, that actually influences divine timing. We align and surrender and lean into it, and it actually feels like that does speed things up versus trying to force or fight or struggle our way through, and which is an opposite of that surrender piece. So I just encourage you to really take this time to give yourself what you need as much as you can, and allow yourself to discover yourself, maybe again, or maybe for the first time. You are made for big things. It's incredible. It's like knowing you planted the seeds for the most amazing flower garden. Like, you know, it's gonna be incredible, breathtaking, more than you could have imagined when it blooms. That's how I'm seeing you. You are in this death and rebirth phase where you are, the old life and the old ways have crumbled and are no longer there. Like the tower has, everything has crumbled and come down to the ground so that it can be rebuilt with a new foundation in a new way, and that can't be rushed. And so if you've planted this flower garden, you're going to tend to it and water it and nurture it and nourish it, and it's going to bloom when it blooms. And there's no rushing that process, but it's all perfect. The timing is known, and maybe not on this conscious level, but that's where you can just trust and surrender and lean into the process of it being what it is. So we're just going to take this Smoky Quartz, and you can just tap into the energy here, this beautiful Smoky Quartz, and we're just going to clear out any dense or dark, heavy energies and emotions, anything that feels stuck within you, anything that's been hindering your ability to feel stable and able to move forward. The energy of the Smoky Quartz helps you to take practical action towards manifesting your dreams with a sense of determination and endurance that's unshakable, but again, all in divine timing. So we're just gonna take this and scoop out anything from your head, your ajna, your throat, your ji, and your will, which is your heart chakra. So your heart chakra, your throat chakra, your ajna, and your head. Those are all your open centers. And we're just going to scoop out anything there that is remaining, that's not yours, that was never yours, that was imprinted and implanted. I'm just going to scoop that out, scoop that out, scoop that out. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Any ideas, stories that are not in alignment with your truth. And just scooping that out now. Scooping that out now. Anything that you were told to believe, that you believed because you were told. Or just cleansing and clearing and scooping anything that's not yours. You are capable of coming to your own conclusions and your own decisions. You are strong enough. Cleansing that all out from your head, from your ajna, clearing your mind, cleansing your mind. Clearing out your throat. Cleansing and clearing and transmuting the times where you've spoken and not been heard, where your voice was not heard, where you felt unseen, misunderstood. Just clearing that out, clearing and cleansing and scooping, 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 scooping that out now, scooping that out now. At the right time, all that power, all that magic, all that knowingness will be able to be shared. The right people will hear it and receive it. We're just scooping out any unforgiveness. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Any unforgiveness for yourself, letting that go, cutting cords, letting yourself off the hook. You don't know what you don't know. You're only doing the best you knew how, and so was everybody else. Forgiveness for yourself, creating space for the potential to forgive anyone else that needs to be forgiven, even if they don't ask for it, to free yourself, forgiving others, frees yourself. Now we're just going to have you can close your eyes if you'd like, and just tap into the energy, receive and allow the energy of the Smoky Quartz as I share a poem about this crystal from Moon Omens and the center of chaos lies the still ground where I stand. I'll protect and shield you as you take my hand. I'll root you into the earth, strong, centered, and clear, while absorbing your pain and releasing your fear. Strengthening your body and stilling your mind, I'll absorb the toxic density and help you realign. For grounded discernment and increased endurance, reach for me when you need stability, security, and self-assurance. Okay, love. You've cleared a lot. We've created some beautiful space here. You let go of so much that's not yours. And we're going to use our quantum essence from the Potion Lady. This one is Quantum Diamond. This essence contains both citrine and holly, and the citrine helps in transforming negative thoughts into positive ones, especially if any anxiety or depression or PTSD is experienced. This helps with that on an energetic level. Holly helps to open up your heart space and foster unconditional love and compassion. So it helps you transform and transmute any negative emotions. And Holly helps you to enhance your clarity and clear any emotional blockages. So we're just going to take this and I'm just going to smooth this in. I'm going to smooth it into all of the centers that we just cleared out. So your head, your ajna, your throat, your G, and your will. And just mention your heart chakra. Okay. You can close your eyes. I got you. It's going to be okay. You are smart. You are worthy. You are enough. And I feel led to use our Reiki rose quartz stones to do some Reiki healing for, well, it's going to go where it needs to go, but specifically for your heart chakra, for your G and your will center, specifically for the places in your body that are holding on or storing any trauma that you may or may not be aware of. We're just going to send some Reiki to those areas and ask it to go wherever else it needs to go. For your eyes, good. from the highest. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Seiki, seiki, seiki. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Transcending time and space. On Shaza Shonen. On Shaza Shonen. On Shaza Shonen. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Just breathe. Just breathe. I got you. It's going to be okay. You are smart. You are worthy. You are enough. Okay, love. There are 7 keywords that represent the main themes that you are here to experience and express. In other words, these keywords are codes for activating your highest and most authentic and truest expression, what your soul came here to experience and to live out in your storyline, and the character that you're playing in this incarnation. And so we have these different little notebooks, little tiny notebooks here. I'm just going to shuffle them and pick one. And we're just going to write down your activation codes. So your 7-digit activation code is 38, 54, 39, 13, 43, 17, and 18. So this is the one that we pulled. It says, life is a journey, make the best of it. And in our little heart bag, we have our pens that have a little saying on them. Let's see what one we get. It says, you got this. You got this. Okay, your activation codes, your numbers decode into these 7 keywords. 1 is visionary, divine, inspiration, recalibration, narrative, number 5, insight, Number 6, anticipation. And number 7, realignment. Okay, so visionary, divine inspiration, recalibration, narrative, insight, anticipation, realignment. So I invite you to sit with these words, maybe contemplate them, explore what meanings you attach to each. Do you need to clear and transmute and redefine some of the meanings in order to rewrite a new narrative as the creator of your own story? I also want to remind you, as we get ready to shuffle our cards here for Alchemist Collective Card Pull, that a lot of times too, there can be a frustration with timing with Alchemist, because there's this plateau that happens where it just feels like it's a plateau, you're stuck, nothing's happening. And typically that feeling really starts to amp up and ramp up right before there's a breakthrough. So it's actually a good thing. It's not like what you would expect. So again, I just encourage you to be patient with the process. Trust that everything is working out for you, for your highest good, for your benefit, for your favor. You are seen, you are loved, you are supported, you are protected. Continue on. You've come this far, you can't give up now. Keep going, because there is so much sweetness on the other end and the other side of the bitter. I'm hearing like you can't give up before you reach the promised land. You will get to something far greater than you've ever imagined. That all of this, everything you've been through, will be used for things that you can't possibly imagine. And so you want to keep going to see what that is, to see what that means, to see what that looks like. Spirit, guides, angels, ancestors, what is the message for the alchemists? What do they need to hear? What do they need to see? What do they need to know? What do they need to remember? For their highest good, for their highest timeline. Anything that will bring them clarity and confirmation. What is the message for the alchemists? Please, Spirit. The wellspring. What are you thirsty for? Body care. Take a breath. Rest, renourishment, replenishment, rejuvenating, restocking, resourcing yourself. What do you need? Give that to yourself. This is a time for you to heal and take care of yourself. No guilt, no pressure, no judgments. And in the right time, you'll emerge or re-emerge, restored, renewed, refreshed, reknown, and ready to take that next step and you'll have clarity and confirmation when it's the right time. Okay, and we're going to pull from our Divine Illumination angel numbers. Angels, what is the message for our alchemists? This card just slipped over. Patience. Let's read this. Thank you, angels. 636. 636. Have you been seeing sixes or threes? This is what it looks like. Patience. It says, when the winds of uncertainty blow and the mind races with indecision, remember to slow down and surrender to where you are right now. Cultivate patience in your soul, for it is in the stillness between actions where the seeds of profound growth are sown. Back to our beautiful flower garden. Slow down, breathe deeply, and trust that all is well. Slow down, breathe deeply, and trust that all is well. Patience. So if you start seeing sixes and threes or 636, remember this message. And if something else came to you intuitively that you want to share, you can as well in the comments. Okay, love, you are all set to either carry on with your day or sink into a deep sleep to wake up tomorrow renewed, refreshed, and renowned. As always, I look forward to our next session together. May you remember, you are loved, you are light, you are love. I know who you are in truth. I know what you are in truth. I know how you serve in truth. You are free, you are free, you are free. I am you. You are me. And we are one.